Welcome to the Holy Yogi, where we help you find the guru inside of you. Hello, beautiful, and hello, handsome. And if no one has told you today that they love you, let me be the first. I love you. Hey, listen, everybody. We're going to be discussing today information that's going to help you. This is day 4 of our How to Find Your Soulmate in 2019. Yes, get excited. I hope you're as excited as I am for you, for the opportunity to really connect with your divine soulmate. It is the most beautiful and it is the best relationship that you could ever have in your whole entire life. I can't tell you. It is the type of relationship that is truly God sent. It is truly a gift from God. And what better way to have that experience when you have God at the very helm of that relationship. Okay, so let's get excited. It is day 4. So on day 1, we discussed about, in a nutshell, be the love of your life. Be the love that you're looking for. You have to love yourself first so you can recognize love, unconditional love, when it shows up. Day number 2, we talked about the list, getting that list together, as far as the type of mate that you would like to have in your life. And day number 3, we talked about forgiveness of those past relationships. We got to get rid of that baggage, the old stuff that's in our life that's still probably at the recesses of our mind. And if it is at the recesses of our mind, at the subconscious level of our minds, guess what we're going to do? We're going to draw that same type of relationship to us if we don't forgive it, and forget it too. That's kind of good too. I don't think that was a Freudian slip. I think if we don't let it go and release the past, it's over. It's done with. It's history, okay? There's no mystery to it. We already know what happened then, and then focus on what we want now. Here's the present. That's why they call it the gift, okay? So today, what we're going to focus on is the number 1 priority that should be on your list. It should be the number 1 thing that you're requesting as far as the type of quality that you would like in your soulmate. What is it? This is the secret. This is the main key secret that so many people neglect and they forget to do. But I know it's not you, because I know you know what it is, okay? So I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. The number 1 tip, the number 1 request, because numero uno is priority. They must be spiritual. They must be God-centered. You want that person because you're the person that you're looking for. Remember, the number 1 priority that you want to be is that you want divine connection. You want God to be at the center of their life, and you want God to be at the center of your life. God is at the center of every aspect of your life, regardless if it's health, regardless if it's wealth, regardless if it's relationship, regardless if it is the purpose of your life. Everything we do revolves around spirit, great spirit, grand spirit, etc. I said spiritual. And at the helm of that is spirituality and soul, which is at the very core of you of what you are, is the divine qualities. So if you fully understand that, if they realize that they are created in the likeness and image of God, and that they are God, and we already agreed on Monday that God is love, right? That unconditional love, right? If we've already agreed with that, then the beautiful thing is now it doesn't matter all the other qualities, because if God is at the center of their life, and not that they're perfect, but on purpose, and God is at the center of your life, that means that the very core essence of their soul, the divine divinity within inside of them, is what? Our natural, innate qualities are love, bliss, compassion, truth, justice, righteousness, knowledge, wisdom, power, all those wonderful 7 qualities we talked about on Monday, all those wonderful qualities is at the top of their list too. That they are divine souls and beings. And if they are divine souls and beings, they are going to have to be giving. They're going to have to be compassionate. They are tapped into that zone, or they're striving for that zone, and they're requesting it within themselves, and they're, studying it. They don't necessarily have to be going to church, every day, but every day the decisions that they make is their conversation with God. God, what type of career do you want me to be in? God, what type of divine mate do you want me to have in my life? God, what type of food should I be eating to self-actualize, why I am here on this earth? One of the prayers that I say in the morning when, I say my morning blessings over the food, that is a gift to me from God. I get it. I understand that. Is God, provide me with the energy I need to do your work in all of this glory. Let this food do this. Because I know everything that I do, everything that I receive, everything is coming from the higher source. It's coming from the universe. It's coming from God. And when you fully have that, you are naturally humbled. You are naturally all these things we mentioned before. You are naturally love and forgiveness. And you are naturally truth and justice and righteousness and acceptance and grace and your mercy. You are living lightly through life, and you're forgiving. And the ego, which is easing God out, is to the curb. That's our alter ego. That's not our priority in our life. So that is number one on his list. That is number one on your list, or vice versa on her list, that is number one. So if that must be number one on your list. So go back and let's get that list together, because that is the priority. Let God, let the universe be at the center of your life, because that's how number one is I am a soul. I am a soul. I am a soul. So that you will what? Find your soul mate. Okay? The reason why I bring that up, because I have been studying and watching, the stories of even in my life, as well as, some individual lives. And what I found that all of us had in common, when we created our list, and more importantly, when we were striving to, quote unquote, find our soulmate, our twin flame, our spiritual partner on this wonderful journey of life, heaven here on earth, that, we allowed God to really chart our course, to really help with determining our destiny. Okay? So, what happens is when you're of that vibrational frequency, you attract what you are, an individual that knows that, and humbled by the reality that God is, charting your course, is making a way out of no way. And when it's divinely ordained, you feel a special obligation to really enjoy the story, because everybody has a story of how they met. So I'll talk about, Devon Franklin and his wife, how they met. They were both Devon had already been on a mission to be celibate and to focus on his purpose in life and his career, and he left the details up to God. Okay, God, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to live my life. I'm going to live my purpose of creating faith-based movies in Hollywood that's going to help people self-actualize their dreams and be inspired by the stories of God's, presence in their lives and what it produced or manufactured for them. And so he was very successful with that. And, and then his wife happened to be, like we said, we draw to what we are, happened to and she was on the journey. She wasn't there quite, matter of fact, she had made so many mistakes, but she had her core foundation was that she believed in God, and he believed in Christ, and she believed in Christ. So I don't want to get caught up in religion, because I think some people miss the mark of the boat when they get caught up that, if I get married, I got to marry a Christian, and he's got to be a Christian. I know people who are in successful relationship where one is Jewish and one is a Christian, or one is a Muslim and one is a Christian, or one is just spiritual and the other person's spiritual. One believes in Great Spirit and the other believes in Great Spirit, but the key foundation of it is that they believe in a higher source. They believe in a supreme being that's out there, that's charting their course, and that's aligning them with people of like mind that are vibing with their tribe, right? So in a nutshell, that is what is so important. And so, make a long story short, back to the story at hand. She was like, God, okay, I'm making the same mistakes, etc. That's it. I'm tired. And she happened to see Devon, and they were just friends. Business relationship, and she said, that's the type of guy I would like to meet. And then basically she went home after they did this production, etc. And she basically terminated her relationship because she knew that the gentleman wasn't God-centered, that they were just totally complete opposites. They were not going the same path. And so she decided, okay, first I'm going to focus on loving myself, finding out who I am according to God's will. Got on her hands and knees, and she prayed to God and told her to give her the divine vision. Now, while she was on her hands and knees, once again, God spoke to her. Here we go again. It's a pattern here, and said that Devon was her husband before she even knew it. And she was like, okay, God, that's great. What do I do? And God said, nothing. Don't do anything. Just work on you. Get into that place of, and she basically did the same thing. She really worked on herself spiritually. She really just developed a relationship with God and got into the business of really dissecting what God was all about and becoming a goddess in the process. So that when Devon wasn't picking up any channels or signals, and maybe that's why he wasn't picking any channels or signals, because the vibration frequency wasn't quite there, because she wasn't quite there. And then later on, as they started, hanging out again together a year later. Keep in mind, she did nothing to instigate it. All she did was put in good vibes and energy. She told a friend or two, and be careful. Now, this is one thing I will say to you. Be careful who you share your most sacred information with, because sometimes silence is golden. Just keep it between you and God, because you don't want anybody vibration frequency to mess it up or interfere with that. So make sure it's somebody that loves you and has your best interests at heart and wants the best for you. Very important. Some things you tell everybody, some things you tell nobody, and some things you tell somebody. Okay, so just keep that in proper perspective. And then getting down with the other story, I'm sharing with you with another, Hollywood couple, and I kind of shared it. I haven't shared this one with you yet. I shared it with someone at the Ask Holy Yogi yesterday, and basically it was another Hollywood couple. They are the two, I don't forget their names, but they're the two actors and actress on Empire, and their couple, and they got married, and basically they went through the same thing where they were separately in relationships with other people, and they realized that it just was not it. That was not that divine soulmate. And once again, God had spoken to them who their soulmate was, but what they didn't do, and this is very important, they didn't interfere, they didn't instigate, they didn't take charge and manipulate the situation and try to control it. What they did was they gave it out to God and let God handle the details. They released, this is important, they released their soulmate journey to God and let God orchestrate the whole entire symphony so it can synchronize and come together in a divine connection and in a divine intervention way. It's got to be holy, guys. It's got to be holy, completely holy for it to work. When you try to manipulate and control it, it doesn't work. And let me raise my hand. My last marriage, I tried to manipulate and control because I thought it was God, giving me and charting me in the right direction. But I manipulated a little bit too much. I didn't let it come to me. And that's why, one of the reasons why it did not work. The other key factor is, remember I told you about that relationship, was that I had my list. He saw my list and he tried to be my list and he tried to, there we go. We both were manipulating it because he tried to be the list. He tried to be number one. He tried to be spiritual, but that was not innately within him. It just really wasn't. And I had the utmost compassion with him. So the major secret is, they've got to be spiritual, or they have got to be, in the holy realm also. So very, very, very important. I can't stress it to you. Just so very, very important in order for your relationship to work, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to say this again. It's got to be. And so when you are, for example, let's say, okay, number one, go back there and fix that list and make sure that's number one beyond any other qualities, because that'll take care of all the rest of them. That'll take care of them being financially safe, secure, because when you're loving yourself, remember I told you back when we were talking about creating that list, when you're loving yourself and you respect yourself, you're responsible, okay? You are naturally, caring of your finances as well as caring of other people's finances. You wouldn't want to bring somebody in a relationship with all the debt and bad credit and all that other kind of wonderful stuff. It's going to wreak havoc on it, okay? So they care enough about, and they're preparing for their future mate right now. I tell you, my son right now, he is his goal in life. He wants to have a happy, successful family. That's his dream. That is his dream. But in order to do that, he knows he's got to find his purpose. He's got to do things the divine way, etc., have great credit and build an income to be able to afford a family, to be able to take care of his wife and take care of his kids, yada, 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 yada. Okay? So he's preparing to find what his purpose is in life in order to be able to do that. And out of respect for the young lady, he's not even going to begin dating. Why begin dating? Number one, you can't afford to begin dating. And number two, when you're quite frankly trying to find yourself and your purpose in life, you're not ready. You're not ready. And I think that's why so many young people miss the mark by jumping into things, and stumbling and falling before they get the opportunity to really find out who and what they are and really understand what true unconditional love is all about. That is so vital and so important. So in order to find your soulmate, number one should be, I am a soul. I am divine. I am spirit. I am created in the likeness and image of God. And the number one quality is that my soulmate has those same qualities, that same divine essence at the very core of them too. God, I wish I had that from the very beginning, because that'll cut to the chase. That'll cut people out right away. You'll know instantaneously when they say, their first priority is, their money or, their family or yada, 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 yada. When you find somebody sit at the table and they say to you that God is my grace, God is who I am, God is my source and my supply of everything. I have such reverence and such love for God. I want you to think about that. When people love God so much, they are so loving that I'm not going to say you don't have to worry about them cheating or anything of that nature, but that they are, very intimate and introspective of what truly life is all about. They're in the world, but not of the world. They know that all that matters is that God is at the center. No matter what's going on, everything's going to be okay because God is good. And when people know their divinity, when people know that they are divine, okay, they see the divinity in other people. And when they see the divinity in other people, everything is so miraculous. Everything is so magical. Everything is so good. Everything is so happy. Everything is joy and peace, bliss and exciting and fun. And life is just so grand. And they're positive, okay? And they're purposeful and they're prosperous. I mean, look at all those P's. So that's what is so exciting. So that's number 3. Then number 1 on their list is God. And number 1 on your list is God. So goddess, meaning a God, and vice versa, is what the true beginning of a wonderful, exciting relationship to begin. I know another couple, Torrey and Sarah Jakes, from T.D. Jakes' fame and fortune, and how she met her husband, her soulmate, and he, being a pastor, didn't even know what a soulmate was until he met his soulmate. You see, that's how God worked. But more importantly, both of them put God at the center of their relationship goals, their soulmate goals, and they understood what a soulmate was. So that's going to be the key thing, is that he's going to understand that he is striving and looking for his divine soulmate. She's going to understand that's what she's doing, the divine soulmate. You got soulmate, finding soulmate, and once again, like attracts like. And that's the only true relationship that you could ever really have. Soulmate to soulmate. Fantastic. So if you like what we shared with you today, day number 4 is going absolutely fantastic. Get excited. It's done. I want you to like. I want you to comment. Give you respect. I want to get some feedback, baby. And let me know what you think about what we're sharing with you and how you're achieving your goal of finding your soulmate. And if you have found your soulmate, what's your story? Share it with us. We'd love to hear it. Thanks so much and have a great day, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe. See you tomorrow.